Hello, everybody. Everybody wanted to know. I've been in Facebook jail, of course, for the last 30 days, and I haven't been able to talk about the National Football League playoffs. We're going to get right into it. A lot of people want to know what my opinion was on what happened, what's going on, and what's going to happen in the Super Bowl. Right now, we're going to talk about that. Let's first start off with the NFL wild card round. Now, let me preface this by saying the additional team in the playoffs was a monumental money grab and a waste of time for the National Football League, as none of the seventh seed teams belonged in there. Not Pittsburgh, not Philadelphia. Probably the two worst teams in the playoffs. We're going to get started, though. We had the Raiders going into Cincinnati to take on them Bengals, Joe Burrow and company, getting it done 26-19 in a really well contested matchup there in the wild card round. The Raiders didn't look like the best team in football going into the playoffs, but they sure played hard. I don't know what their future is. The Raiders are a team that's on the bubble. They're either going to sink or swim. I'm just not sure about them next season. The Patriots going to Buffalo and getting shellacked. 47-17. The Bills put it on the Patriots, and everybody saw this coming. Everybody saw this coming. The Patriots have played above and beyond their means due to good coaching, but the Bills was on fire, and the Bills are ready, and it won't going to be no taking that away from them in the wild card round. The Buffalo Bills, 47-17. Go over to the NFC side of things here. The Philadelphia Eagles going into Tampa Bay to take on the GOAT, Tom Brady, and really showing why they didn't belong in the playoffs. They backed in as it was and then got smacked 31-15, just obliterated out there in Tampa Bay. Philadelphia, not one of the better teams, didn't deserve to be in the playoffs, and it showed. San Francisco 49ers travel out to Dallas, and boy, I tell you what, when I told you all season long the penalties were going to be a problem for the Dallas Cowboys, if they didn't get that cleaned up, and that play in the trenches with the offense and defensive lines, if they couldn't get that rolling, solidified, and fundamentally sound, that they was going to be in for a rough postseason. That's exactly what happened. 23-17. San Francisco with the upset in Dallas. Then we move on. The Pittsburgh Steelers going into Kansas City and getting blowed out and showing why they didn't deserve to be in the playoffs. 42-21. We finished the round off with the Arizona Cardinals going against the LA Rams, hosted by the Rams there in Los Angeles. And boy, I tell you what, they really put it on them. 34-11. Their division rival goes down. Kyler Murray had all kinds of problems trying to figure out what the Rams are throwing at him, and the Rams really took him to the woodshed on that one. Now we're going to move on. We're going to move on to the divisional round. Now the Cincinnati Bengals travel to the number 1 seed, Tennessee Titans. And the Bengals, on the backs of their defense, with 3 interceptions of Ryan Tannehill, defeat in a shocker the Tennessee Titans 19-16, even with running back Derrick Henry back in the lineup. Other divisional round matchups. The 49ers head to Green Bay and stun the world. They beat Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers in the snow. The 49ers 13-10 underdog victory over the Green Bay Packers. The Rams head out to Tampa Bay as they took on Tom the GOAT Brady and company and jump out to a commanding lead, only to have them fumble it away, and Tom Brady and company came back and tied the football game. One big play later to, what do you know, Cooper Kupp, the wide receiver of the season in the NFL from the resurging Matt Stafford. What do you know? He's finally on a team that's not Detroit, and the man is winning playoff games. The Rams kicked the field goal to eliminate the GOAT, Tom Brady, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 30-27. Then in the final game of the weekend, the Buffalo Bills headed out to Kansas City in what can only be described as a real-life version of John Madden football. The last 2 minutes of that game are well documented of how insane they were. I really feel bad for Josh Allen. Josh Allen was the superior quarterback in the game. Allen will be a problem for years to come, as will Patrick Mahomes. Those guys showed you what high-paid quarterbacking looks like. And they went out there, and Kansas City gets the ball in overtime, destroys Buffalo's defense straight down the field, 42-36. Patty Mahomes, who only needed 13 seconds, 14 seconds, whatever, 13. But before the end of the game, he takes it down the field into field goal range with 13 seconds, 2 plays. Terrible execution on defense of Buffalo, and it cost them. But Buffalo's going to be a problem. They're a young team, and they're on the upswing. That takes us to the NFC and AFC championships, respectively. By the way, that divisional round was some of the best football in the history of the playoffs in 1 week. With that being said, we move on. AFC Championship, the scrappy, underrated Cincinnati Bengals, led by Troy Aikman 2.0, Joe Burrow, taking on Patty Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. And boy, I tell you what, Patty Mahomes and them got it back to them as they were defeated 27-24 with time running out. What they normally do to everybody else got done to them. And the very brash Kansas City fans were sent home packing early as they were sure they were making their return to the Super Bowl for the third time in 4 seasons. But it didn't happen. Patrick Mahomes wilted away throughout the fourth quarter and overtime and just snuck into a shell that anybody else would have called a choke. But Patty Mahomes always getting the benefit of the doubt, will not be called a choke artist because he got him a ring before. Regardless, Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals are headed to the Super Bowl, which leaves us with San Francisco, the upset kings of the playoffs, heading into L.A. against the high-flying Rams. Matt Stafford and company, down by 10 in the fourth quarter, make the comeback and seal the deal with a turnover of Jimmy Garoppolo. 20-17, the Rams advance to the Super Bowl, ladies and gentlemen. This Super Bowl should be a barn burner. The Cincinnati Bengals and the LA Rams. The Bengals have a history of starting slow, which you cannot do against Matt Stafford and company. That will be the deciding factor of the big game. If Cincinnati can hang with them early, Cincinnati will win the football game. But if they allow the Rams to jump out on them, it's going to be an unsurmountable hill to climb with Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp taking care of business. So that's it. Everybody want to know what I thought of the playoffs? That's what I thought about the playoffs so far. It's been good football, and I look forward to a Super Bowl that doesn't have Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes in it, or the Pittsburgh Steelers. Have a good one, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll see you next time.